Hello, everyone. Please do let me know, am I loud and clear? And
Yeah, you're clearly audible. You can proceed.
okay. So basically, we are a startup, 5 years young startup based out of Chennai, and our startup name is Tan 90 Thermal Solution Private Limited. Where what we have done, basically, we are a graduate of IIT Madras, and while pursuing the PhD degree in the campus itself, late in 2017, we have developed a cooling chemical which is named as PCM. And later on, after the POC, proof of concept, we went ahead and we commercialized into the market, and then we got a good response from the people, and then how we started this journey. So going forward, I would like to ask, sorry, I'm not able to move. Okay. Yeah, going ahead, I would like to ask you people, have you heard the name PCM, or are you aware of this particular material called phase change material? Anyone?
So your meeting is going live in our
Okay.
website, so audience will not be able to speak out. They will just post their queries there.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So, okay. So I'll tell you what phase change material is. The phase change material is basically any liquid which changes its phase from solid to liquid or liquid to solid. In the process of same, while changing the phase, it can give the chillness at its surrounding, and that's how this material named as phase change material, and it has been used in order to give the chillness, and hence it is and the good example of phase change material is like ice. So ice, what you do is you freeze the water, where water convert into solid from the liquid, and hence you'll get the chillness because of the ice. So in the same way, what we have developed a various PCM, which is basically a mixture of inorganic and organic salt, which holds certain specific heat and latent heat, and thereby it can able to hold a particular temperature, let's say -30, -24, -18, -16 for various applications for certain duration, like 8 hours, 10 hours, it can hold the temperature of same. And by using that, what, one second. Yeah, so basically I explained you how this PCM works. The PCM, when it converts to solid, and from solid to liquid, when it's start its process of getting melted, during that period of time, you will get the chillness. That's how exactly ice works. So here the only difference what we have in ice and in our PCM material is that the retention time and the freezing time. Whereas ice will melt in just about 45 minutes if you keep in ambient, whereas in our material, if you keep PCM in ambient condition, it will hold the temperature of, let's say, whatever the temperature it holds, like -24, -18, it maintains the integrity of solidness till 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours. So if you're looking at the available passive solution in the market, either there is one solution which is very much prominent in the market is ice, which everybody knows, and from from primary sector to tertiary sector, people use this particular solution in a various field. Apart from this, the people who has basically at the tertiary level, the people who has a money power and very organized sector, they use reefer vehicle in order to transport any perishables, any agriculture produce, any items which needs to be kept in a certain temperature. So as of now, either we have a reefer vehicle which is high on cost, and also which has a high flexibility. That means you can take this particular vehicle at anywhere at your convenience. Whereas in the ice, it has low flexibility because it cannot use for all the perishables. Suppose you cannot use ice to transport your vegetables. It will damage the leaves. It will damage the your perishables. Again, it cannot use to transport the ice cream or the butter or the any secondary, any material which has been packed in the paper, in the cover, because it will damage the that secondary packaging. So it has limitation of its own. But apart from these two solutions in the market, if you see, there are no current solution which helps in order to transport any perishables from one point to another point. So in order to mitigate this gap and in order to bring something which is affordable for both primary sector to tertiary sector in across all the fields, we have developed this particular chemical, which is known as PCM. And it can ranges from -24 to +30 degrees. That means currently we have a PCM which is ranges from -24 to +80. Actually, this particular PPT is not been updated. So right now we have a PCM which goes beyond 30, which is +36, +50, +55, +75, +80 degrees. So you might be wondering where +80 degree or where +56 degree can be used. Basically, +30, +56, it's coming under hot segment. That means there is a requirement of keeping something hot. There you can use this kind of PCM. Apart from that, you have a PCM in the negative side, -18, -10. And as you can see on the PPT, it also indicates that in the various field, like from ambient to frozen, the various PCM can be used. And also, if you talk about the agriculture sector, where exotic foods like lettuce, like broccoli, like in order to transport your mushroom, you have to have certain temperature. You have to send in a good packaging material where it cannot expose to a sunlight or a certain temperature, so you can avoid the damages of the same. Or otherwise, you have to have some kind of better insulation or some cooling place in cooling facility in place where it can maintain the temperature to basically increase the shelf life of the vegetables or agri produce. So what we have developed, we have developed this particular product for a different applications across a different segments. So if you take transportation basically comprises of three segments. One is called first mile, one is called mid mile, and the third is called last mile. So in all these three segments, the first mile basically is the term is from the farm to any warehouses, that is known as first mile, and mid mile from one warehouse or to another warehouse or to another city is called mid mile distribution. And the last mile, where you have seen, like if you order any groceries, any fruits or vegetables, these people will deliver at your home. That is called hyper local delivery, which comes under last mile. So all three these segments has been able to use our products very predominantly, and where we can able to give them a different PCMs for different products right away, be it ice cream, be it exotic fruits, be it egg, be it grains. So for a different product, a different PCM, and there is a different in different segment. So as you can see in the PPT, if you have noticed here, the sachet and the thermal cover, both we are giving as a one of the passive cooling solution to hold the temperature of any chocolates or ice cream for 15 minutes to 1 hour, where the delivery boy generally takes from 10 to 20 minutes to deliver this item to the end user. So in that case, we are giving away this thermal sachet. We termed as we have given this term to this particular encapsulation is thermal sachet, and this is the thermal cover where the chocolates and ice cream has to be kept along with this sachet. And then for the last mile and the mid mile, both this, you can see the HTP panel where our PCM is filled inside this panel, and while using this has to be completely frozen and placed inside the box. And then after placing inside the box, you can keep your perishable and then send it across wherever you want to transport, and it can hold the temperature on an average, I'm saying, for any PCM like 6 to 14 hours. In the third segment, what you can see, we have converted the normal dry vehicle into a insulated frozen, insulated cold vehicle by putting our panels along all the side walls and top and bottom, which gives you the basically a temperature controlled environment for 12 hours to 24 hours. And there, how we are catering this particular client, you might have heard Suguna Foods. So they are transporting eggs from Trichy to Lucknow to Gorakhpur with our PCM panels in this particular fashion in train. And with our PCM, they can able to hold the temperature of +20 to +22 degree temperature inside the coach till 3 days. So you can imagine how efficient and how useful it can be while transportation. So in the form of boxes, we have a different range of boxes where we give it away or different clients over different segments, like for the first mid-mile and for the last mile, okay, in order to transport foods, frozen foods, or agri-produce or vegetables. And also we do provide the bags, which are we have given as a new term called a cold storage bag, which has our panels inside this along the side walls, and there you can put your perishable and transport the same, be it meat, fish, any perishable. You just name it, you can have it. Any product just needs to have a controlled temperature. Those products can be transported in this cold storage bags. And in terms of, if you talk about the encapsulation, we have done this encapsulation of PCM in a various sizes, right away from 50 ml to 1 liter pouches we have, and then in the panel side we have from 300 ml to 1.5 liter panels we have. Basically, the pouches are being used in the last mile delivery, where you can see with the bags, the delivery boys are using it, and for the mid mile and for the last mile, for the intra-city or warehouse to warehouse movement, these panels have been used inside the boxes. And apart from these boxes, what we have done, basically this PCM, before using, you have to freeze it for certain hours. So in some of the cases, what we have observed that a few people or few group of people, they don't have the facility at place to freeze those pouches or the panels. That means they cannot be able to freeze our PCMs, whether it's in pouch or whether it's in panels. They don't have the facility in place, and hence they cannot able to freeze it. So for that particular situation or for that particular sector, and to cater those people, what we have come up with, a service model, which is termed as a CAS, cooling as a service. So this is the first one of its kind in India, and you might have not heard this word before. You might have heard the software as a service model, but here we are giving cooling as a service to our very own country, and we have our presence in 5 different locations apart from Chennai, which is Pune, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Delhi, and currently we are going to have it one in NCR, which is in Gurgaon. So what we have been doing there is, so basically on the daily basis from 1090 store, we have the facility where we can able to freeze the PCM panels inside our freezing station, and from there we are giving it to the client warehouse. Basically, it can be aggregator, it can be a big warehouse store who keep all their agri produce or the frozen products, and from their warehouse they can use our panels to their retail, to transport the material to the retail store, to the residential areas, to airport, to hotels, to dark stores. So in daily basis, what we have been doing right now, in daily basis, we are giving up frozen panels to these particular clients, which is basically a Swiggy, Zepto, and Zomato. So every day we are giving a frozen panels, which is of minus 24 PCM, and they are using those panels to transport their material, frozen foods, ready to cook items, ready to eat items. They wanted to transport it from their warehouses to various airports, uh, uh, hotels, and their retail store and their dark store. So they are using our panels in this particular fashion because they don't want to have, or they don't want to invest in creating a cold storage room or any cold chain infrastructure. So the people who don't want to invest in this particular area, or they can rent out our frozen panels. And this is not only valid for the bigger people like Zomato, Swiggy, and ITC. This is also valid for a people like individual guy who has a yield of 200 kg or 100 kg vegetable produce on daily basis. So if they want to, have something in terms of cold chain solution, they can come up to us. They can say, I want to have your box for a day with 4 panels, and they can have it and they can use, and at the end of the day they can just give it back. So what we do, we give them the frozen panels along with the boxes, where they can be using these boxes to transport their perishable. So this is how this particular service model works. And as I mentioned, it has a zero capital investment. You no need to, no need to have anything in place, like no need to have any active cooling solution at your end. You just have to place the order and you'll get a frozen panels at your doorstep with the boxes. And thereby you don't have to maintain any inventory, like you don't have to, freeze it at your home. You don't have to have ice cream, blast freezer at your place. You don't have to have basically a cold room or storage room. Directly you can harvest and use our boxes and panels to transport the same. And thereby, since we don't need you don't need inventory, you don't need a space, you don't need a any kind of the blast freezer, you don't have to have the manpower in place for this particular operations, right? So going forward, I'll tell you a few of the clients what we have been catering so far is for a different segment. Frozen foods, we have ITC, Super K, Ecom, Express Delivery, and for the ice cream, where we have been giving this minus 24 PCM, minus 18 PCM to this particular segment, where they are using our panels to transport their ice cream. In the chilled food, as I mentioned, Suguna chicken, they use our panels to transport their hatchery eggs, which needs a plus 22-degree temperature to be maintained. Licious, you might have heard, who's doing a door delivery of meat and fish in tier 1 cities or metro cities. And Captain Fresh, same in the same segment, where they're dealing with the fish. And then Escapos in Chennai, it's very much prominent. And if you talk about the milk sector or chocolate sector, there we have ITC, Vehicle, Ninja Cart, and Balava. So these are the few clients which I have shown you. Member who also graduated from IIT Madras and were my friends, and where we have developed this particular PCM together in IIT campus. And yeah. So here, this is all from my side in terms of presentation. So can I have a, query?
Thank you very much, Dr. Shiv Sharma, for a wonderful presentation. I will take up the questions from the participants now. The first question is,
yes.
Just a minute. Are there any potential drawbacks or limitations associated with passive cooling methods in agriculture?
There is no such limitation. I'll tell you on different verticals. It doesn't consume much power. It doesn't need. It's very affordable. It's very cheap instead. and it doesn't harm. This cooling chemical, just it has got a name of chemical, that doesn't mean it's very harmful. It's not a harmful at all. The people, even they have drunk our PCM before. It's non-toxic material. So basically the salt we consume on a daily basis, like the NaCl what we have in our kitchen, in the similar way, this is also a mixture of water and salt. So it doesn't react in that fashion. It's not harmful in a larger sense. It has one limitation, that means you have to have some power or some facility to freeze these panels. I mean, to freeze this PCM. So like water, I mean, in order to make ice, you have to put in the freezer. So in the similar fashion, you have to have conventional active refrigeration at your end to freeze this panel. Just for certain hours, like 3 to 4 hours, it will completely get frozen up, and after that you can free to use for 10 to 12 hours. So that is the only limitation what we have as of now. And in order to mitigate this limitation, what we have done, we have also deployed solar driven blast freezer in one of the villages here in Madurai, and we have given to the people in the cluster of 25 villages. They are using as a charging station. So it runs on solar, and they freeze these PCM panels on a daily basis in particular in this particular charging station. So yeah, it has a limitation of charging it with the power for certain hours.
Okay. How can small scale farmers with limited resources benefit from passive cooling techniques?
Yes. So in fact, when we started this particular project, okay, we kept the farmers as our target audience. Okay, and being an engineer and being an IIT, what we believe that we have to create impact on our society. So what we have seen right away from 2012 to 2015, the agri produce, whatever we India produce, in a year, the 43% of the whole agri produce is getting wasted, and that is majorly because of the lack of cold storage facilities in all these three segments, whether it's the first mile or mid mile or the last mile. And that's why we have come up with this particular solution, where even farmer, we have basically decentralized this whole refrigeration concept into a small box or into a small pouches. You have seen in my presentation, we have created 50 ml. We have developed 50 ml pouches where you have to just freeze it somewhere, and then you can use it for 2 hours, 3 hours in order to keep anything cool. So by keeping those farmers in our mind, we have come up with this particular solution. And with the help of Telangana government, with the help of Tamil Nadu government, we have deployed some, around 2,500 boxes and 30,000 panels to serve our farmers, serve our very own farmers, where they are using. So one of the use cases I told you in Madurai, they are using our boxes and panels to transport the jasmine from farm to their warehouses. So 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning, they pluck it and they'll put it in the box, and straight away they're sending it to their warehouses, and from warehouses it goes to the airport. So this is the one use cases I'm telling you. And we have worked more than 20, not more than 20, but in Telangana itself, more than 25 FPOs we have worked with, and also in Lucknow, I think 15 FPOs we have worked with in Lucknow, and in total, we have impacted 15,000 farmers so far. So yes, farmers are getting benefited with our product.
Okay. Are there any specific regions or climate where passive cooling is particularly crucial for agriculture?
Yes, I mean, it's crucial in a way that if you want to reduce the post harvest, suppose after harvesting, the people used to store in their in their premises, and for certain time they wait for a good time, a good season to sell it in the market, right? So in order to do that, or maybe in order to sell at a better price, to you have to maintain the integrity and the freshness of your agri produce. And in order to do that, only a passive cooling solution can give that service to you. Basically, what we have seen at the farmers, there is a scarcity of the infrastructure or electricity, or they cannot afford the reefer vehicles, they cannot afford a cold storage unit. So it's crucial for them. Basically, the passive cooling solution is the only solution available at the primary sector for our farmers. So apart from this PCM, they also, you might have heard, like in a certain villages, what they have done is they have made a small room made out of mud, and they also dig out the soil, and they make one small hole kind of thing where they preserve their vegetables for certain time, or they use this gunny bags to pack it there and splash water in between. So all those kind of conventional things have been done in terms of passive cooling solution. But PCM is something which elevated this the techniques of passive cooling solution in that way. Yes.
Okay, I'll move on to the next question, sir.
Hmm.
What challenges do farmers face when adapting passive cooling solution, and how can they be overcome?
Sorry, can you just go on again?
I repeated. What challenges do farmers face while adapting passive cooling solutions, and how can they be overcome?
Okay, so the only observation what we have from the farmer end is, they lack the knowledge of this particular PCM, and they confuse this particular PCM with the water. They consider this thing as a water itself. I mean, they say no, it just looks like a water, so they generally call it it's a ice only, right? It's a water only. Then we used to tell them or educate them, no, it's not water, it's a PCM. It just looks like a water, transparent in color, but it has a certain chemical in it which hold the temperature for a longer period of time. So mainly we have to educate those people at that front. And second issue what we have faced, when they are freezing in a particular chest freezer or in a particular facilities, they only freeze it for half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So they are not, they're just putting it inside the freezer, and then after a couple of hours, they're taking it without checking whether it has completely frozen or not. So in that front, we have faced problem that the farmers are not being able to use this PCM pad efficiently because of lack of awareness. So what we have done it through the FPO, initially what we have tried and we failed. Basically, we have gone to the farmers and we have sold this product, and we have catered these farmers directly. But what we have observed, that we were not able to cater them very well, since they were having these problems at their end. So because of that particular reason, we have associated, we approached certain FPOs, we approached government, and we have gone through a government channel where government used to give them a particular knowledge or particular session where they teach them how to use these panels, and also they give them the subsidy. So by doing that, they have basically overcome that problem. So even in India, people, even the government, state government, they're trying to bring more, as much as possible, all the farmers to get associated with the FPOs. So by getting associated with the FPOs, they have a lot of benefits, like they'll get a proper knowledge how to use even a small fertilizer or these things. So yeah, so we have to have the channel partner in place to basically to look over the farmers' need or to clear out their doubts at times, or to give them a training in a proper manner. Yes. So by doing that, they have overcome this particular problem.
Okay, I'll move on to the next question.
Hmm.
Can you share success stories or case studies where passive cooling improved crop yields or product quality?
Okay. So one interesting story we have. So when we started back in 2018, MCRC, Murugappa Chettiar Research Center, which is basically a vertical of Murugappa group here in Tamil Nadu. So they have basically taken our boxes initially. They wanted to experiment with our product, and they were very kind. They have given a lot of supports. So what they have done, we have pieced our product. They have taken our boxes and the panels, and they have deployed these particular boxes and these panels in a few few villages. Like I have 4 villages in my head right now. One is Karaikuri, one is Chidambaram, the third one is Kudalur, and one is nearby Madurai only. So what they have seen earlier, the farmers used to have wastage of 2 to 2.5 kg on an average. On daily basis, they used to have this wastage. So when they started using this particular box along with the panels, they reported. So basically, we got this information right away from the farmer itself. They have been able to sell all the vegetables at the end of the day with a greater value, and also with the zero loss. I mean, that was a kind of eye opener for us also, because we couldn't expect that much. So there we could able to reduce the wastage 2.5 kg to a 0 per box and per per farmer, you can say. So there we have seen the direct impact of our boxes, or you can say the passive cooling solution to the farmers. Yeah. So that was a very interesting feedback or observation what we have received from the market.
Okay. What role do technological advancements play in enhancing passive cooling solutions for agriculture?
So technological advancement. See, if I talk about the PCM is something which is not very unknown. In 1960s, our Indian people, the Indian scientists, they have used this particular PCM in satellites in 1960. But after that, this PCM is not very not been used, or not been used. I mean, the people are not aware of this particular solution. The only difference from that time and till current years, what we have is the people fail to understand how PCM can be useful, in what way, until what extent we can use the PCM. And there, yeah, certainly we need to innovate this particular material, because the PCM, what I'm talking about, all PCM materials what we have, ranging from -24 to +80, it's all patented and developed by us, very own. And the campus, inside the campus itself, we tested and we developed. So this is not the same PCM what the people have used in 1960 in satellite. Those are PCM which is just closer to water, which holds the 2 degree or 3 degree temperature. But we have been able to gather the knowledge, and we have to able to innovate this PCM. So in terms of advancement, now if you can see, the people started realizing the potential of the PCM, and by doing that, the PCM has also by looking at the trend of like EV vehicles, solar cells and data centers, wherever the cooling required. Apart from active refrigeration system, the only thing we have as a very strong, solution from the passive concept is a PCM. So far we have been able to develop for a different range, and we are also pitching this PCM for a different sectors, like as I mentioned, EV vehicles, where your battery needs to cool down, in solar cells, where the whole day it's get exposed to sunlight, and thereafter it will have a very high heat during the daytime, and because of that particular heat, the life of the solar cell will get depleted over the year. So there you need to have a PCM which can absorb all the heat and give the chillness to a solar. And also going forward, PCM could be a game changer for the HVAC, the heating, ventilation, air cooling, like in the space cooling. Like you can embed this PCM into your houses in the rooftop, and there the temperature of outside temperature can be reduced further by 10 degree to your inside room. So yes, so these are the technological advancements what we have realized and we have come up with, and we are the only manufacturer and with such a range. We are the only company who manufacture this PCM at such a variety range in India, and giving them and pitching them as a passive cooling solution for a different sectors.
Okay, I'll move on to the next question, sir. What steps can stakeholders take to raise awareness and encourage the widespread adoption of passive cooling solutions in the agricultural sector?
So basically, as I mentioned, what we have been realized, the education is something by which, if you have a good product at your hand and the people are they are not aware how to use it, then it's all go in vain. So in order to make it effective, at the same time you have to educate your people. Educating your people only will help you to make them smart, and also they can able to use this passive cooling solution efficiently to have a better ROI, return of investment. So whatever they are they're putting it, their hard work and the investments to grow the vegetables and these things, they at the end, by using this particular passive cooling solution, they can able to get a good price and good return. So in order to do that, I mean, education in terms of or the training on the ground level in the primary sector, that needs to be done. And in that front, what a various stakeholder has taken is a lot of programs is coming, out of different ventures, different non-government organizations, NGOs, and various FPOs are conducting. Even the startups, even what we have done so far in order to contribute in that particular area, we have conducted a various showcase in the various villages where we go them, show our product, teach them how to use, stay with them to get their feedback. And this is something, unless you won't go to the ground, you won't make them understand how useful your product is and how they can be benefited from this particular product. So yeah, various channel has been come up, and various stakeholders also has been realized, we need to go to the ground, we need to educate the people, we have to uplift them, those people, then only we can grow our market as well.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank Dr. Shiv Sharma for the talk and for answering the questions. I like to also thank all the participants in the meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're most welcome, sir.